Funny. Right. Life keeps moving, clocks keep ticking. People act like nothing happened, like the ones who shattered you just disappeared, like your pain never carved a hole where your soul used to live. You ever sit alone in the dark and feel like the darkness is the only thing that gets you? No fake smiles, no cheap hope, just heavy, bitter quiet. That is what breaking does. It does not leave a wound, it leaves a scar. Wounds heal, scars talk forever. And tonight, hear this clearly. They broke you once. That part is done. Never again. People misunderstand silence. They think if you are not yelling, not swinging, not bleeding in public, then you are weak. They are wrong. Silence is lethal. It is where monsters take shape. It is where they harden. That is where you live now. That quiet edge of the world, where no one sees what you carry. They call it peace. It is survival. When the storm tore you open, they watched. Some even enjoyed it. And you still believed in them. You still held on. Naive, but real. It takes strength to care after being crushed. I respect that. But listen carefully. Caring does not keep you alive. Cold does. They did not just hurt you. They studied your trust and cut it apart. They treated your kindness like weakness, and you stood there shaking but upright, crying but silent. You thought they would come back and fix it. They never do. Nobody cleans the damage they leave inside someone else. They walk away light, like you were just a side mission, and you are left holding the debris, the noise, the memories that refuse to shut up. Try sleeping with a memory screaming in your head. That is hell on repeat. But here is the truth. You survived. Most people break once and stay broken. They fold. End of story. You did not. You are still here, still breathing, still upright. That makes you dangerous. You are no longer the one who got hurt. You are the one who learned. Pain teaches clean lessons. It does not lie. You trusted the wrong people. You gave chances too freely. They burned through your loyalty like it meant nothing. That was not your crime. That was theirs. They thought breaking you would shrink you. It sharpened you. They expected begging. You became quiet. They wanted you small. You became the storm. You are not waiting for apologies anymore. You are the silence that scares them. You proved something brutal. A person can burn and still rise. No permission needed. Do not let them twist the story. Your softness was never stupidity. It was proof you were real. They broke you once. So what? Everyone breaks. You rebuilt with stone, with fire in your chest, with steel behind your eyes. You do not need revenge. You are the revenge. Nothing hurts them more than watching you pass like they never mattered. That is power, not noise, not rage, detachment. When they cannot touch your mood, your peace, your silence, they lose. They know it. So keep moving. Keep your silence sharp. Now they watch from far away, confused how you are still standing after they buried you with betrayal. They do not get it. Pain builds. You did not heal. You changed. That is why they cannot break you now. They broke you once. Never again. I remember that night. The sky felt wrong. You ever look up and feel like even the stars turned away? I sat there empty, not thinking, not talking, just existing. I felt nothing. Not the cold, not the ache, not the weight of what I gave to people who vanished the second I fell. They love you when you are winning. When you crash, the room goes quiet. That is when masks drop. That is when truth shows its face. You broke quietly. No drama, no soundtrack, just smiling in public while dead inside. They destroyed you in silence. And the hardest truth, you let them. You handed over loyalty, honesty, care. They treated it like trash. You gave gold. They sold it cheap. Now you are angry, lost, telling yourself you are fine. You are not, and that is okay. Breaking is not the end, it is the beginning. You think this version was born from comfort. No, it came from fire and absence. I learned to accept closed doors. I stopped waiting for apologies. I stopped proving my worth. I started watching. Because when people break you once, they expect you to stay down, begging, starving for their attention. So ask yourself this: why chase someone who walked away without shame? Why keep giving to someone who only takes? Real strength is not fake smiles. It is refusing to go back. They will return. They always do. When you move in silence, when you build unseen, when your growth becomes dangerous, they will hear whispers. They will watch from distance. Do not turn around. You owe them nothing. They broke you once, never again. That is law now. Think logically. Pain has value. You gave yours away for free. Every tear mattered. Every sleepless night mattered. They wasted it. So you stop giving it out. Your time is selective. Your energy guarded. Your love earned. People treat you how you allow it. Silence after disrespect teaches them permission. They stopped seeing you as a person. You became a tool. That ends here. Burn that chapter. Write the next one quietly. Say less. Build more. They will call you cold. Good. They miss the old you. Of course they do. He was easy to drain. That version died quietly. This one does not beg, does not explain, does not need applause. This one becomes the storm. Some nights hurt. The silence screams. You want closure. Closure is not real. You give it to yourself. You bury the past with indifference. They do not get access to your mind anymore. They do not know you now. You grew in the fire they left you in. You were predictable once. Always there. Always forgiving. Now you are gone. That is what haunts them. Let it. You move forward. Quiet. Calculated. You observe. You rise. Not to show off. To remind them. They broke you once. Never again. You fell deep. No screaming. No begging. Just silence. They smiled while pushing the blade deeper. Called it love. That ends when you stop handing out pieces of yourself to people who only want your weakness. Pain does not knock. It barges in. You kept feeding it, calling it loyalty, calling it kindness. Hear this clearly. None of that matters to people who plan to use you. You gave warmth. They burned it for comfort. You gave chances. They turned them into weapons. You were soft in a world that survives with teeth and silence. Not anymore. You know what your real mistake was. Not loving, not trusting. It was thinking your loyalty would earn respect. Believing if you bled long enough they would stop cutting. That was the lie. You were never the problem. Their hunger came from emptiness. They needed someone to tear down to feel big, and you showed up open. No armor. That chapter is closed. The version of you who said it is okay while bleeding out is gone. Good. Hear this clearly. They did not break you because you were weak. They broke you because you were strong, too real, too bright, too clean for hands like theirs. They dragged you down so they would not drown alone. You reflected their guilt. You thought it was love. It was not. Real love builds. Real respect does not need reminders. If you have to beg for it, you are in the wrong place. Notice the quiet after you stepped away. All the noise vanished, all the chaos disappeared. That was not chance, that was truth. You were the light. When you left, they were forced to sit in the dark. Nothing felt right because you were the heart of it all. You carried them while they kept cutting you down. Now you are done. That silence you left behind, it is screaming in their ears. Do not go back. Do not fix what you did not break. Do not save people who loved you only when it was easy. This world respects one thing: those who stop explaining and start disappearing. It fears people who rise quietly, because those people do not burn twice. Hear that ticking. It is not a bomb. It is your time, your silence, your answer. It does not need noise. It just keeps moving. You owe them nothing, not even a goodbye. You are not broken now. You are rebuilt. And rebuilt, people do not shake. They do not beg. They walk focused, unreachable. That hurts them more than rage ever could. They cannot touch what no longer reacts. So stay cold, stay distant, stay strong. Let them feel the weight of your absence. Let them suffocate in the silence they created. The new you does not bleed for unworthy people. He does not kneel. He watches. He calculates. When the moment comes, he does not speak. He wins. They will see it. Not through words, through what you build in the dark, brick by brick. No apologies. I remember that silence, not peace, the kind that crawls into your bones after betrayal, after the last promise turns into an echo. You gave everything. They took it like it was owed. You handed over your heart. They crushed it without hesitation, and you stood there waiting for an apology, for a return, for a miracle. Here is the truth. Miracles do not show up for people like us, but this does. They broke you once. Never again. Real pain leaves marks, not visible ones, deep ones, scars that change how you walk, how you laugh, how you trust. They grow roots. Every time you forgave what should have ended, every time you stayed when you should have left, those scars multiplied. You became a gallery of your own kindness, filled with people who never earned a place. They studied you to find the cracks. Then they dug deeper. Understand this. Not everyone who touches your wounds wants to heal them. Some just want to see if you will bleed again. That is the world. A place where softness gets exploited, where loyalty gets spent by cowards, where silence gets mistaken for submission. Not anymore. You do not return to the fire that burned you. You become it. When a broken man stops asking for help, he changes. Not because he wants revenge, because he learns independence. He walks different. Eyes hard, heart guarded. Not hate, survival. Love without limits destroys you. Trust without caution loads the gun. You have lived that. I see it in your eyes when someone says forever. That word lost meaning. They thought you would never leave. They fed on that. When your light faded, they did not ask why. They walked away. No guilt, no shame. You stood there with ashes in your hands, smiling like the fire never touched you. But I saw you. You became what they fear, not because you turned cruel, because you stopped needing approval. That is the shift. When a man finally understands himself, he stops being controllable. He enters rooms without asking to be seen. His silence speaks. His absence teaches. He does not chase. He disappears. By the time they notice, it is done. This is not bitterness. This is clarity. You did not die. You evolved. They did not destroy you. They created the thing they now regret. They do not deserve your story. Burn the old version, the one who bent backward for people who never stood beside you. Rewrite everything, not for revenge, for growth. You rise for yourself, for the kid who cried alone, for the man who waited for messages that never came. They broke you once. Never again. I remember the moment. You sat there empty, the weight of the world laughing on your chest. They laughed at you, like you were the joke. You did not react. You absorbed it. That silence was louder than screams. Men who break quietly are the ones to watch. Most collapse. You did not. You cracked. But you held. That kind of pain educates. It teaches faces. It teaches tones. It teaches lies. Pain is the best teacher this world has. They thought you would stay the same, that loving version forever available. They were wrong. You are here now, watching, planning, not to destroy them, to destroy the version of you that allowed it. That is power. You walk past them like they never mattered. You win without announcing it. That silence ends games. When you stop reacting, they panic, because they lost the real one. Remember this. They did not break you because you were weak. They broke you because you carried light they could not handle. They will come back, not for you, for access. But you see patterns now, not words. That is your armor. You speak less. You watch more. The old version is gone. He died the day they broke you. What rose cannot be broken? The moment they thought they destroyed you was the moment they freed you from illusion, from hope. You see clearly now, and once you see it, you never unsee it. They broke you once. Never again.